Welcome in, everybody, to the week. What are we in? Week 8? Commission dress? Yes, sir. We are in week 8. And it was a week where everything seemed to open up quite a bit. There was a lot of bottom half teams that were very successful, and there was only one top half team that was very successful. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we get into it. It's been a crazy year. I feel like a lot of rookies have come to play this year in fantasy. Of course, we have Caleb, Jaden, Drake, and Bo Nix. Those four quarterbacks have been playing well. They're fantasy relevant, which I think is crazy. And then, of course, you've got Neighbors and Marvin Bowers from the Raiders there, and Brian Thomas Jr. Going off. I feel like the rookies have been going crazy this year. It was tight end day this past Sunday, which was pretty fun. I keep forgetting about it every year. I feel like it's not advertised until the actual day itself. But I was trying to find some way to maybe incorporate that into our league, so I had some kind of ideas spitballing in my head. I thought maybe once we get to tight end week, or the previous week is concluded, we would each pick a tight end off the waiver wire. Maybe in reverse order of standings or something, and we would then actually pick them up and put them on our team. But once the week was over, I would take that team's, or that extra tight end's points and add it to your team for the week. I don't know, something fun to maybe incorporate tight end day into our league, and in some way to do it fairly, of course. But keep that in mind. I want to talk about quickly, before I get into the matchups, about the toilet bowl. I don't know if you guys can see this very well. I hope you can. The toilet bowl on Sleeper works in a most awesome way, in that it's like a reverse playoff. You basically, if you win, you're out. If you lose, you keep going. So you can see right now, Mickey and Gus Bus are in last place in our league, so they would actually get buys into round 2 of the toilet bowl. So you want to win to get out of this tournament, because you don't want to lose that last place game, which I think is fucking awesome. So I'm super stoked for that, because I think the toilet bowl is going to be like awesome to watch. I think it's going to be fun. On that note, I want you guys to put your binds together and see. I don't know. I feel like we need a punishment, since this tournament is going to be so fun the way that it's set up. It would be awesome if we could have some kind of punishment that isn't so extreme that guys are going to bitch out and not do it, but isn't so simple that they don't care if they lose. Anyway, let's get into the matchups. Number 1, Brown Neighbors Cooksmell taking on the waiver. No, this is the wrong week. Brown Neighbor Cooksmell taking on Chief of Stafford. This was the second matchup in Rob and I's doubleheader, which actually turned out to be kind of fun. There was a bit of trash talk between, like, week to week. You know, we kind of had like a brawl, and I won last week, and he still had the median win, and then this week he had both wins, and I didn't get a median win. So I would say he came away ahead in the doubleheader, as he's got one extra W in the 2 weeks. But I didn't hate it, and now I've got one coming up against Jordan here for the next couple of weeks. Chief of Stafford, 164 points. Bijan was good. Matt Stafford was good. And the Pittsburgh defense was amazing as always. I had a ton of points on my bench. I did consider giving myself bitch of the week, but then it's like, how do you start Cedric Tillman over Terry McLaurin or A.J. Brown or Malik Neighbors? Like, that would have been crazy. And I started the right tight end, even though all my tight ends were okay. But Bo Nix had 29 points. I mean, Caleb Williams had 10, so I got to start playing Bo Nix a little more. The year of the rookie, you don't know who to start. Gino had a small week. Like, I don't know. It felt like a weird week in football. But Rob coming away 2-0 this week, and I did not meet the league median, which was only about 2 points away, but it was not enough. Looking at Neighbors on Monday night, just didn't cut it for everybody. It looked like it's. I think everybody was betting on Neighbors that night, and he failed you. So you're welcome. He's on the trade block. James Cook though, 28 points in the loss. Now, shit, Nick. I know it's been a shit year for you with CMC, and I know this speech sounds like I should have the Superman music playing on in the background. But the fact is, you didn't reach 200 points. 199. One more point, and I'd have given it to you. 100. You're just not quite there. It was such a good week, Nick. It might even. I think it's the highest score of the year. Which seems crazy that I'm not giving you Superman of the week. But 199, you were just short. Everybody seemed to turn up. Trevor Lawrence had 2 touchdowns in the air and 1 on the ground. Mostert had 2 tutties. Jacobs had 2 tutties. Kelsey had 10 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown. It was just a good week all around. Baker Mayfield has been awesome this year, and your team came out of nowhere. You must have had points on the bench. Oh man, there's no way you could have started Otten over Kelsey though. But I guess maybe you could have started over Jacoby. Oh, that's tough. There was a couple options there for you to get to 200 points. So, congrats on the big week. Whiskey Jack, you also had a big week. Like 151 is nothing to scoff at, especially when you were 4-11 coming into the week. To come out with 151 points, that's good. Joe Mixon is barely behind Derrick Henry in a point per game basis, so he's been good this year, just missed a little bit of time. Lamar has been on fire as always. Kyron has been good. Nick will be 2-0 that week to improve to 5-11, and Whiskey Jack will have to settle for the 1-1. Phil McCracken taking on Barry McCockiner. Jordan, it's been a rough couple weeks for you. You had 128 this week. You had 126 last week. Below league median. Both losses. You're in the 6th position right now. And you're coming against me for 2 weeks, and I have had a slightly better average weekly score than you, so it's a bit of an uphill climb for the next 2 weeks. And you are on the verge of slipping out of the playoff picture, so you better buck up. 128 points. Not going to cut it against anybody. And then you lost Stephon Diggs for the season. Devontae Adams. Ugh, the Jets are just a nightmare right now. McConkey on the bench. Guess you can throw him in for Diggs. That's a little bit tough. On the other side of things, Wade is the reason I couldn't give Superman of the Week to Nick. Nobody's going to remember this except for Wade. But in week 1, he went 0-2, and he was in 9th position. And since week 1, he has gone 12-2. And those only 2 losses were score totals of 142 points and 148 points. And this week, 167 points. He is on a roll. And he is 11 points behind Eric for first place. They're both 12-4. Wade is rolling. He will get the double victory this week to improve to 12-4. Phil McCracken will drop to 9-7 after being 9-3 not that long ago. Whew. Moving on to Gus Bus and E. Jib. Make America Drake. Allen, for the second time this year, going 0-2. Gus Bus with the good turnout of 141.96 points. Will improve to 4-12. Egypt will drop to 12-4, but maintain his first place position. Justin Herbert had a better week than he normally does against the Saints. Mooney has been a solid pickup. Up and down weeks, but his up weeks are fantastic. Jalen Hurts had a big day against Cincinnati, and Burrow did not against Philadelphia. It's Mickey, X gonna give it to you, taking on Casey Taves, Big DK Energy. This was a close matchup, 150 to 144. Casey will come away with the victory, thanks mostly to CeeDee Lamb, Brock Purdy, and the Kansas City defense. Other than that, his team was not great, but it was enough to come away with the win. Mickey's team actually had a really good week, so he'll be disappointed to only get the median victory. Tyrone Tracy with 23 points. Jamar Chase with 20. Not a huge week, but when you're sitting across from Lamb, who had 13 catches for $146 and 2 tutties, it is hard to beat that. Casey will come away with the win. Greasy Boner is taking on E.T. Phone Mahomes. Another close matchup. Fajita will come away with the win, 151 to 141. Jonathan Taylor and Achan were a good running back duo for Shane this week. The Detroit defense was solid against Tennessee. Of course, when your team puts up 52 points, the defense is probably doing something right. Jaden Daniels has been great for Spencer this year. Marvin Harrison had an up week. Brock Bowers had a down week, but caught every ball that was thrown at him. There will be better weeks for him. Spencer will drop to 10-6 as he's just below the league median. It was tight. It was between 141.4 and 141.9, I think. So it was quite a tight league median, a very high league median this week. Let's take a quick look at the standings. We have Make America Drake Allen and Barry McCockiner at 12-4, separated only by 11 points. Then we have Brown Neighbors Cook Smell at 11-5, E.T. Phone Mahomes at 10-6, Chief of Stafford and Phil McCracken at 9-7 will round out the playoff spots. Greasy Boner's also at 9-7 from the outside looking in by about 32 points. So he'll be looking to try and break in this week. And then we have the best of the rest. Big DK Energy in 8th spot at 6-10. The 5-11s are Big Fucking Anime TDs and the Waiver Wire, followed by the 4-12s. X gon' give it to ya. And my DK Hertz Cup. My balls at 4-12. We're getting into week 9 as we start the push into the playoffs. You know, the playoffs are only, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, fucking 5 weeks away. And then it's the playoffs, so 5 more weeks. Put your heads down, see what you can do as the playoffs take shape. May your players stay healthy and ever unproductive. Commish out.